Hey, I'm making this video to go over all of the current meta Derv routes for MQSC, and we're going to start here with the Ranger Yeti route. At the start, as always, you're going to make sure you want to grab the shrine. Whoever is popping cons, pop them, and pop the pecons that you want to use, and head left. You're the only one that's going to be heading left during this. You're going to want to grab the first group, and if the patrol is off, you can just spike the first two groups together and then the boss. But normally you're going to want to try to do this, where you're going to pull everything together, including the boss. And this is going to make things a lot faster, considering this is one of the longer routes. You're going to want to make sure to ball the backline properly, because the boss is a boss, so he's going to have more health than normal. And you want to line things up well, and you're most likely going to get blinded from the ritualist anyways, so you really want to make sure that you have a decent ball. For this, you're going to want to grab everything, and you're going to pull all the warriors down the cliffside, and this is going to ball all the ranged except the boss, depending on where it spawned, up around the corner. And then you're going to want to either walk to it or jump to it, depending. In this situation, I chose to walk to it because I wanted to use my DC to get to the ranger boss. In this situation, the guy that's doing Wallows 1 and 2 will be here to assist you by the time you're ready, to help you spike the ritualist boss, to bring this right under 2 minutes, or right under 3 minutes. But it's really not that big of a deal unless you're really pushing to try to get 2 minutes. 3 minutes is perfectly fine for situations like this. Once the ritualists and all the yetis here are dead, you are finished and are free to go pick up chests, drops, or help others who are struggling. Next is going to be the cave route. Another, or if not the longest one. You're gonna run with a couple people here. You're gonna be with at least Wallows 1 and 2 person. They are going to be spiking these groups, so you want to try to make sure not to aggro everything here, so they can at least grab one Wallow group. Normally the patrols are a bit different, but because I'm doing all of this in one session, the patrols are a little wonky. And you're just gonna keep running on up past everything. There is a section at the top of the hill here before the cave where the enemies will always aggro each other and they're hostile to each other. You just want to ignore them and let them fight it out. You have to get into cave as fast as possible. So this is a monk boss and can be very problematic if you're not careful. You're going to want to pull the whole room if possible. Sometimes the ones at the far bottom don't really matter. You don't have to pull those. But in most situations, you do want to try to get them. There are some weird cliffs here and you can easily get stuck. You can just use discharge to get out if need be. And you're going to pull them all down the cliff or the cave wall. And this is going to ball them up nicely, because the monk needs, similar to the other Yeti bosses or any boss, they're going to be quite beefy, so you want to make sure to get as much damage on them as possible. You do want to spike the warriors first though, because you do end up taking a lot of damage due to being blinded, so it's very risky to not spike them separately, and it's not necessarily needed. So you just go ahead and kill those safely, and then you're going to want to jump in onto the monk boss. You do not want to attack the monk boss. You want to attack things beside it. Attacking the monk boss causes it to heal himself. Otherwise, he's going to be using other skills to heal his allies, which is very important. Otherwise, he's just going to stay at full HP and you're never going to be able to kill him. Sometimes things won't ball perfectly, or some things might run out. It does happen and it's not that big of a deal. Just make sure you clean it up before going on. It's not going to make you lose that much time. You can still do things in 3 minutes time, and you will have people helping you at the end anyways. If you do have to do the whole second half of cave by yourself, you're going to want to grab this far patrol group and pull it into everything else, along with the one that's coming from the other end. Normally, there will be people here already finishing this for you, so you won't have to worry too much about it. But in the case that you do, this is the ball that you would want to do for it. Next, we're going to be going over the Wallow 1 and 2 route. This person is going to be running with the cave route Derv. They are going to want to make sure not to double aggro what he is aggroing, so you just want to look out for that. I go over here and just grab the far wing because they definitely would not be aggroing this one. Usually they would only aggro the group in the middle, so it doesn't matter. But just in case, you do want to look out for that. After you do this whole section, you will go up to the next Wallows. As you're spiking this group, you do want to be in contact with the Ranger Rit Yeti Route Derv to see where they're at, because you need to be able to go over there and help them finish spiking the Ritualist boss or whatever Yetis are left over there to try to get things as quick as possible. In the case where the team's just really slow and timing isn't that important, you can go this back way to pop an extra group of Onis. They can give you good drops, and it's just more faction for everyone overall. The next section that we're going to be going over is the lake route. You're going to skip everything in the middle and run along the side. You're going to be running with a few people. You're going to be running with the lake cleanup, which will be behind you, and you're going to be running with the Wallows 3 and 4 route derv as well. You're going to want to run past all of this as quickly as possible because they're going to need to spike these groups. You're almost always going to aggro enemies in this Wallow section here. Just put IAU up and keep running and you'll be fine because you have to get to the lake as quick as possible. You can either go left or right, but because of patrolling here I decided to go right just so I wouldn't aggro the extra Wallows there. Normally it would be fine though and you could squeeze by, but I had to take a little bit of a longer route. You do want to be careful. The patrol will patrol into the stationary section of Naga, and you cannot safely aggro both at the same time. It was kind of close here because I had to go the long way around. So I did push my luck here, but I am pretty comfortable with this, so I decided to go ahead and go for it. In worst case scenario, you would wait for the patrol to go past the stationary group, and then just do the stationary group first. Of course, this is a lot slower, but it's not worth dying normally. After you finish both groups of Naga here in the lake, you're now finished, and most of the team will usually be done by now. If someone has died or needs help, you're free to go help them. The next section is going to be lake cleanup. You're going to be running with the lake route runner and the Wallows 3 and 4 derv. You're going to run past everything. Your job here is basically just making things go smooth everywhere else. You're going to want to first kill the Naga group that the Wallows and Lake Runner run past. And after you finish killing this group, you're going to want to kill the one Wallow patrol that's kind of away from everything else. This is going to help the Wallows 3 and 4 finish things in a decent time. And after you finish all of this, you're going to want to run up. And what you're going to do is the groups that are hostile towards each other and finish fighting, you're going to want to grab and finish them off. Because I did all this in one session, they're a little farther away than normal, but this is normally the group that you're going to want to grab and finish off. You're going to finish quite fast all of this, so what you're going to do afterwards, which I had already done in this session, is go to the back side of the Yeti cave and help the cave derv finish things in a decent time. Next, we're going to be going over the Wallow 3 and 4 route. Again, this is going to be ran the same route as the lake and lake cleanup person. The difference is that you're going to run past everything, even the section 3 of Wallows, and do section 4 of Wallows first. After you do section 4 of Wallows, you'll then finish the section 3 of Wallows that the lake cleanup derv did not finish. And if the other people did not get the patrolling Wallow route, you will want to pick that up as well by the bridge. Other than that, you would be finished and you would just help others who need help. The next section that we're going to be going over is the beach route. While running through here, you're going to pop a lot of enemies and run past a lot of groups. It's because the beach takes quite a while, and if you stop to kill everything, it just takes too long. You're going to want to make sure to use IAU during the Oni groups, or they can knock you down with Scorpion Wire and just be quite annoying. The first thing you want to do is take the stationary Naga group and run and grab the patrolling outcast and pull the two groups into each other as they are hostile. This will cause them to fight, and after you made sure that they have aggroed each other and begin fighting, you can run, and then you want to catch the patrol Naga that are going away from you. After you spike them, you will then spike the other stationary Naga at the other end of the beach, and then run back to the boss area and see what is left over from the skirmish. In the scenario when you're doing Olive Beach alone, you would just kill the groups that you normally run past first, and then do everything else that you did here. Most of the time there will only be either the boss by himself, maybe another outcast with him, or sometimes the boss in a Naga. This, what I have here, is the worst situation possible, and in these scenarios you would still have the beach cleanup to help you spike, so it wouldn't be that big of a deal. But in the case that you are doing the solo and you do need to kill the boss alone, you will need the stone with you. And with the casters that are glitchy, you will want to pin them against a wall and let everything fall on top of you to then spike them. The last and final section that we'll be going over is the beach cleanup route, and basically you're going to be spiking the groups that the beach pops and leaves behind. This first example, the Wallow would normally be on the other side, but again, because I've been in this session for a while, they're a little displaced. Same concept though, you would still have to spike these first. You would then go spike the first Oni group that popped up. And then you would then go spike the patrol of Wallow. After the Wallow patrol is dead, sometimes be on the lookout because they will get stuck on chests. Go back and kill that last Oni group, and then you either want to go to the boss and begin spiking it, or either help finish spiking it, depending on where the beach derv is. After this, you are done. And thanks for watching, guys. Hope this helped, and all the information for the PVX and whatnot is in the discussion below.